Hello my friends, welcome to my country farmhouse studio. I'm Renee and I thought I would take you along on a journey and show you how I make a quick and easy jelly roll quilt. So what I am doing with this quilt is I am making this for a graduation quilt for my niece's daughter, Melanie. So Melanie, if you want to watch this video on how your quilt is made, here it is. So if you're new and you don't know what a jelly roll is, most of you know what it is, but a jelly roll looks like this, and it is a roll of 2.5-inch strips. And there's usually about 40, 42 in a roll, just depending on what you get. What I'm working with is a jelly roll by Sherry and Chelsea. They have a YouTube channel here and they have their own fabric line. So the one I'm working with today is called Emma, but this one here is called Bright Sun. So they're just filled with these fabulous colors that all match and go together, and they are really fun and easy to make with just simple designs. And you can make a fast, easy, and simple quilt usually within a day or two. This one, it takes time. I think the hardest part of preparing for a quilt is getting everything ready to put it together as a quilt. So the process of cutting everything up. So what I have done, I took my jelly roll apart and I have made 4 strips and I have sewed them into 4 rows. And what they tell you when you sew these is to sew them in opposite ends as you connect. But what I did was I sewed my jelly rolls 2 in a pair, and then I put those 2 in a pair together, and then I sewed it at the opposite end. So it keeps it nice and straight so that your jelly roll doesn't curve, because this is a very long strip, about 42 inches long, because it is the end of the fabric on each end. And you press all of your seams in one direction. And this always happens. Tilly's out here with me and he wants to go out. So give me a moment and let me let him out. Okay, I had to take care of my maintenance man. So I have all my jelly rolls all sewed together, and I just randomly pick colors because these colors all coordinate together and they look really beautiful. So I'll just give you an example of some of them that I've gotten. So what I've done, I've took my 40 jelly rolls and I have put them in 10 groups of 4. And one group of 4 I am not going to use, and I pretty much picked these colors for the ones not to use for the quilt. But there is a bonus in the book that shows how to make a pillow to go with my quilt with the leftover 4 jelly rolls. So that's really exciting. So that's the bonus part of this quilt. So I've got all of my jelly rolls sewed together in groups of 4 in 10 piles. So there's 10 of these. Well, actually there's 9 of these for the quilt. And they wanted me to cut them up into these blocks, which I've already started, and I'm cutting these up at 8.5 inches wide, so they'll all be nice little squares. And you're supposed to have 4 squares out of each jelly roll, but I'm actually getting 5. So if I can make this quilt bigger, I'm gonna make it bigger, and I'm gonna use it all up. So I'm not really going by the book. I am using the book to me as a reference because I'm kind of like a freestylist. I cannot ever do anything by the rules or by the pattern because I always have to throw something in there to put my own spin on things. And that's what I love. I want to make something unique that's not cookie cutter, and like I said, we're all creators, create your way, but you can use lots of resources for inspiration. So there's inspiration all around us, but I'm very creative and I like to put a little something of myself into a quilt. So this is really fun. So I'm getting this already and I'm getting my pieces cut up. And what I'm going to use for sashing, my blocks are going to be sashed. And this is a fabric that's on my shelf. I don't know who the maker of this is. I don't even know where it came from because it was donated to me. But the color is right in the colors of my jelly roll. And I think this is a nice board or sashing to put in there. I'm not a fan of white, but I am going to use the cornerstones and make white cornerstones. Like I said, I am not a fan of white. White, I don't know. I think it's bright and it's beautiful, but I'm so worried that, if you touch it or use it, it's going to get dirty, or I don't know. It's a phobia of mine that I don't really like to use a lot of white in my quilts. But I think this one has some white into the patterns, And I think I should incorporate some little brightness in there for the cornerstones. And I might even use some of my white for like a really thin border around the whole quilt, because I am gonna border it. And I'm also gonna border it in this cream color because I have lots of it. So I think there is plenty here for me to use. I don't ever measure. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna keep you all in on this. I'm going to finish cutting these up into the squares. I am going to prepare my sashing and my cornerstones, and I will take you on this journey of how I put it together. I'm hoping I'm gonna be done with this today. I was at the So What shop yesterday. It's my little local fabric store in Addison, New York, because I had to take Tilly yesterday to get his haircut. So I was in there kind of looking over some ideas of what I want for backing for this quilt, because I want this to be really special for Melanie, for her graduation. So I want to get this done so I can take it up and kind of get a feel of what I want to use for the backing, because I have to have this ready by July 19th, and I want to have it finished before the end of June, because I want to start on the Tilda hen house quilt. So that's coming up. So I know a lot of you are waiting for that, and I'm really excited to get that one started. But this is important for my family, and this is something that I do when I have a loved one that's graduating high school. It's a huge deal, and it's very special for me and the recipient. So I'm gonna get on with this and get these cut up, and then I'll be back to show you how to do the layout. Okay, my friends, I want to kind of show you, I have my blocks up on my design wall, and I want to give you a feel of what this is going to look like. So I've already sewed my blocks together. These up here, as you can see, the outer borders have like singles and doubles in them. So I'm going to kind of explain to you, these are 8.5-inch blocks, the jelly roll blocks, and I have put one horizontal, one vertical, one horizontal. Yeah. Wait a minute, let me restart that. One's horizontal, and then there's a sashing, and then there's two vertical, horizontal, and then there's sashing, and then there's another horizontal, or vertical, and then horizontal, and then a sashing, and then a vertical. Whew, that is a lot. So that is the top, and the borders that go all the way around. So the center, the original center had just 4 of these 4 jelly roll blocks put together in it. I wanted this quilt to be bigger, and I had 40 strips in my roll. So 4 of them would have made a pillow, but I put some extras in here, so I had to borrow 2 of the pillow, but I'm still gonna make the pillow with the 2 leftover blocks. So I'll show you the book at the end of this video if you wanna make this. This is coming from a pattern, but I have kind of modified the pattern. So I really didn't want to give you the pattern, but I'll give you the book and you can decide on what you want to do. I just want this to be a good size quilt because Melanie is a tall girl and I want it to be able to cover her fully. So I am really going to put a generous border on this. So I haven't sewed the sashings in, but I did cut out my cornerstones and some of my sashing just so you can get a feel of what it's going to look like. And then I think I'm going to take the same peach color and I'm going to do a small layer all the way around the quilt, and then maybe a thin strip of the white, and then maybe another generous layer of this peach on the outside. That is my intention, although things could change. So this is a very simple and fast and easy quilt. If you love this idea, I think it would be great. If you need a quilt in a hurry, this is the way to go, and it looks amazing. So I'm hoping you love it. I'm gonna finish putting it together, and when I get back to you, I should have a finished quilt. So this has all been started the day before I started cutting up my jelly roll strips and sewing them together. So sewing all the jelly roll squares together and cutting up the sashing I've done already today. So I've still got plenty of time. So stay with me and I will get this sewed together and we'll go from there. I have a quilt top finished and it's been a few days. I got this done like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. And I meant to get this finished and uploaded before July 1st, which is today. But it has been very hot and humid here in lower New York, and I've been kind of lazy. So what I got here is a finished quilt top, and I would like to tell you about it. So as you can see from the top here, I've got the little accents in the corners, and I also did the same on the bottom, which I will just kind of move down here and let you see how this looks. So it is approximately, oops, It is approximately 66 inches wide by about 86 inches long. So what this is a jelly roll quilt, like I said, and it has come out of this book, Sew Jelly Roll Quilts and Gifts by Carolyn Forster. Yeah. The pattern was called Forest Floor, but I didn't like the colors at all that they picked in this book. It just wasn't my taste. But I modified the quilt from the book. The book gave me a very good idea, but as I said earlier, I just wanted to make it longer and make use of all of my jelly rolls. So that is the book. So, hello. Here's my husband. Go ahead. Everybody else is here.
What you doing?
So, just wanting to explain this quilt real quick before we get on to the good stuff. And Tilly's out here too, and he has his toy, and he is, besides being a maintenance man, he is also a little ham that likes to get his toys and play with them at the darndest times. So hopefully I can get this information out until we get to the good stuff.
It must be a guy thing. We just like screwing up videos.
This is my life. So, my sashing that I put in between this, I use a 3-inch sashing. I didn't use a 2.5 like the jelly rolls was because I wanted it to kind of offset, even though it really looks very similar to the same size. I put 3-inch cornerstones in here. Hi, honey, my boy. And my border, I did a 5.5-inch border, and I put those white accents in the corners, and they kind of look like bow ties, and they tie in with the white cornerstones. I really love this quilt. I would make this again because I have a ton of jelly rolls to play with, and I would love to make one of these for myself. So it's all ready to be quilted, and I did pick out a back, and my friend Erin has some backs here that we provide. Hey, they're gonna mess with my camera. They're already jiggling it. I picked out a back, and it's yellow. She had another back on the shelf that I picked out originally that was a peach color like the front with some black and gray. No, not really black, but it's more of some gray accents in it. But I thought it was too busy, and this quilt is so light and airy, and when I get ready to quilt it, I do want the quilting to show on the back, so I picked this bright sunny yellow because this has nice colors of yellow in the quilt, and I think it's going to look amazing. So you can stay tuned for that when we get this quilted. It will be quilted before July 19th. That is when the party graduation is, so I'm really excited. Oh, and the bonus item. The bonus item is I had 2 squares left over, so I decided to do a bonus pillow. I don't have the pillow form in here yet. This is just the pillowcase. I did make it a envelope on the back here. I made an envelope so I can make and stuff a pillow to put in this to kind of go with the quilt. So I really utilized all of the peach fabric that I had. The leftover I used for this pillow, and I have a few scraps left, but there was 2 blocks, and I just kind of put some leftover cutoffs from the bow ties up in the top and just threw together this little pillow, and I just kind of machine quilted it, and it's not perfect, but I just wanted to quilt it and make a nice throw pillow. So just a really fun thing to go with this quilt. So now, as I said, it is July, and I know you've been waiting for the Tilda quilt to come. So let's talk some Tilda. Let's talk some Tilda, and I'll take you over to my table and I'll show you what I got. So on my table here, I have some fabrics all picked out, and I would like to tell you about them before we get started on this journey of the Tilda Hen House quilt. So I have my trusty notebook here, which was sent by one of my subscribers last year, and she has gotten my patterns in here for me of the Tilda Hen House. You can get the Tilda Hen House pattern on tildasworld.com, and you can print it for free. If you would like to follow along on this video, this is a very fun quilt to make. And the story is behind this quilt is that I had made one 2 years ago, and it is now gone because I lost it in my house fire last January. So, and I really want to recreate it, but I want to recreate it in a total different way than what I originally made my Tilda quilt the first time. I loved that quilt. I never got to show it. I just put it in the trunk, you know, and it never even got on my bed or anything, you know, so it's pretty disheartening, but I am a maker and I am going to make another one, and this one is going to be pretty spectacular, I'm hoping. So you can get your pattern and print it off, and you have all the directions in here, and they have Tilda fabrics that are chosen for this pattern. I am not doing this like the picture, but it will have Tilda fabrics in it. So first of all, I want to talk about the dresses. And the pattern, or the fabric pattern was Chic Escapes Daisy Field Blenders, and this was a fat quarter bundle that somebody had sent me, and I think it might have been the fat quarter shop itself after my fire last year, and it is by Tilda Fabrics. So what this print is, it had 10 colors in it, but I took one out, and you can see these are the prints. They are all the same prints, but they are in different colors. So I have my colors all laid out here, and I'm going to kind of show you one by one what I have picked. So this color here, and I have this little swatch of color with it because I picked out several colors out of my scrap bins, because on the sleeve of each girl, I want an accent sleeve to kind of go with the fabric colors that I have. So all of these fabrics have pretty similar colors, and I just picked out some colors to match each sleeve. So this dress is going to have this watermelon color sleeve on it. And then the next one here, I have this mustard color, and I chose a pink to put in with this, and this is a pink Tilda scrap that I had gotten out of some Tilda fabrics that I have, so I matched that up with that one. I think that's the only Tilda salad that I have. This one is a pink color, and I chose a red for the sleeve because this has some pretty red petals in it, or red leaves, I don't know, but I thought the red sleeve would go nicely with that one. And then this color here, you can see it has some pretty dark bluish greens, so for the sleeve it's going to have the dark bluish green. And then this one has like this, I don't know, it's kind of like a brown or color, and it has like this mauve. So I picked a mauve color for a sleeve. So every time I picked up a piece of fabric, I kind of knew what color I wanted to do for the sleeve to go with each one. The green here has some blues, so I picked out a salad blue. So most of my colors are pretty salad colors. Some of them have like a little variation in them. This is a gray with the pink flowers, and I chose out this bright pink with a little bit of light pink in it for my sleeve. This one is kind of like a bluish gray, and it has bits of orange, like a burnt orange, so I picked out a burnt orange sleeve for that one. And the last one is this slate blue, and this has some pretty colors in it. I love the deep purple, so I chose a deep purple for the sleeve. So all of the sleeves will coordinate with my fabric color for my dress. These are going to be the dresses. So in my skin tone color, I had just some regular salad, looks like skin tone. You can use whatever you want for your skin tone, whether you want them a little darker or a little lighter. That's totally up to you. This was something I had on my shelf, and I think this will work perfectly for my Tildas. Let's get on to hair colors. So I got in my scrap bin, and I picked out all of my hair colors for the girls. And first one up, of course, I have to have a redhead. The Pippi Longstocking. I had a redhead in my last quilt, and I loved her. She really stood out with her fiery orange hair, and it was just really cool. So I picked out like a blonde, and this has like highlights kind of in it. I thought this would be a really cool color for a blonde. And also this scrap here, it even looks like hair, and it has like the gold and light yellow and kind of a white color in it. And you don't need very much for the hair. So these are all bits of scraps because there's 9 colors for my hair. So I picked out 2 blondes and of course a redhead. And then I picked out 2 browns. So this brown is a lighter brown and it has some lights in it. And when I cut it up to make the hair, it'll look like highlights. I don't know, it'll look really cool. And then I picked a darker brown. So you don't really need a whole lot. I wanted some silver-haired ladies. Whoops, I'm dropping my fabrics here. So I picked out this where it has lights and darks of like a silvery color. And then there is this one that I dropped. This one is kind of like a darker gray, blacks and lights is a paisley, but I think it'll look really cool for a hair color. And then I chose some blacks. This has a dark gray with a black print on it. And then I just picked out some all black. So these are all of my hair colors for each girl, as they are 9 girls, so you need 9 dresses, 9 colors of hair. And the boots, I want the boots all to match. And when I was looking at the fabric swatches, you know, with they give you the sizes of each fabric that you need. So I was trying to match up the pieces to what size, how much fabric I needed. So I think I have enough here for the boots. This is like a grunge. It's a gray grunge with a little bit of blue in it. So I'm gonna do all the boots in the same color. So those are my boots. My chickens. I'm going to do all of my chickens in one color. I'm going to do black and white chickens. So they're kind of look like Barb Rock chickens. I wanted to originally to do black chickens with white polka dots, but can you believe I don't have a big enough piece with a black with white polka dots on it, so I chose this off my shelf, and I think this will make some pretty chickens. And for the beaks, I know this is a huge piece, but it was on my shelf, and I like this mustard color for the chicken beaks. So those are gonna be my chickens. For my hen houses, there's little windows on there, and I found this fabric that kind of looks like chicken wire. So this is gonna be my hen house windows. I want my hen houses to look realistic, along with my girls. I want them each to be individual. So I think this is gonna be really cool for the hen house. I didn't have this in my last quilt that I did. The hen house roof, I'm going to do in this very light gray. I think my hen houses in my last quilt, I did it in a darker gray. But I kind of reminds me of an old metal roof or a corrugated metal roof. So I'm gonna do my roofs of my hen house in this light gray. And then of course, all of my hen houses are going to be individual. So each hen house is going to have a different barn board for each girl. So I have got 9 different colors of barn board for my hen houses. And I think these are all really unique because they're all wood. They're barn boards. And this one's really cool. It's kind of a bluish color. So my hen houses are gonna be amazing with all these different colors of barn board. This has like the green. And this has a little bit of brown with a bluish gray. They're all just really unique. And then here's some that looks like weathered wood, kind of like an outhouse color. And then of course, I think this is what I did some of my original hen houses in. They had the red barns. And then I didn't have enough of the same red barn board, so I threw in some skinnier barn board color. You wouldn't have known, but this one's gonna be different. So red barn board, and then I really like this one. This one looks like the paint's chipping off, and it's a wider plank board. So these are gonna be my hen houses. And I love this pattern, but in the pattern, they did it with the Tilda fabrics. And when I first saw this pattern a couple years ago, it didn't even look like a hen house, and I had a hard time figuring out what it was until I realized it was a hen house with chickens in it. So I want mine to look a little bit more realistic, but you can do yours however you feel. You are the creator, you can do whatever you want. This is just how my mind sees my picture. I want it to look, you know, I want the girls to have these pretty dresses. And the last time I made them, if any of you watched that video, it's gotten a lot of views. All of the dresses were like in a prairie print. So all of these are going to be the same. It's going to be in a Tilda print, which is going to kind of go with the pattern, even though I don't have all Tilda fabrics, but I love the Tilda fabrics. So those are the barns. So the background for my Tilda girls, I've gotten this blue sky kind of fabric here. And the last quilt I did with the Tilda girls, I had them all in like a very light print background. Well, this one I'm going to make it more realistic, so it's going to be the sky. This is not going to be the border of my quilt. I haven't picked out a border or sashings or anything yet because I haven't gotten that far, and I really kind of want to make my sashings and my borders unique. I do have quite a bit of Tilda fabric on my shelf, and I've kind of got it all put together. I may use some of that for borders. I'm not really sure how it will look, but I just know that I want something pretty to put in for my borders and my sashing. And I might even go out and buy something special, but right now I'm just gonna focus on getting my fabric cut and starting on my girls and the hen house. And in the book, in my pattern here, it says that you probably should work on one girl at a time because there's a lot of small pieces. There is a lot of small pieces, and that's why the hair, you only need some, scraps if you got plenty of them for each girl to make the hair. It doesn't require a lot of fabric. Same way with the beaks, it doesn't require a lot of fabric. And the boots, I think it called for 3/8, and I'm pretty sure I've got plenty here for the boots. I don't even know if it was that much. Maybe I was looking at something else, but we'll get into the pattern later. Yesterday I thought I'm gonna pick out my colors and my fabrics, and this is how far I've gotten. But it is July 1st, and I said I wanted to start this pattern this month. So there's no time like the present. It is July. I'm going to work on getting my pieces cut, and I will bring you along with me as I build my first Tilda and my first hen house for this quilt, and we will go along. So if you want to follow along with this little Tilda hen house quilt tutorial, please do. And I hopefully can figure out some ways that maybe you could share your quilts. If you decide to do this and build your own quilt in your own colors, I would love to see, because we all love to be inspired by others and how they do or how they think and how you put your quilts together. Everybody's different, and everybody has a different mindset. So I really would like to connect with you and see how this turns out for how you create your Tilda. So I'm going to conclude this here for now. I am going to work on getting some things cut, and hopefully I can do a little filming of that as well, because you will probably need some alphabetties or some little tape squares. You can get them where the office stuff is. There's stickies, and you can put your letters on them so that all of your pieces can be lettered, like for your hair and your dresses, your sleeves. I remember bundling everything. I would cut everything, and then I bundled. I had the sleeves in a pile, the dresses, the boots pieces, the hair pieces, the face and the hand pieces. So all of that stuff needs to be organized, but I'll get into that in the next video. But just trying to give you a heads up for preparation. Preparation takes the longest, but the funnest part is putting these together. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed my graduation quilt for my niece. And we'll get started on this Tilda quilt. I am so excited, and I'm so excited that you're going to join me. So I will chat at you later. Take care for now, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.